Hello friends and subscribers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Daniel Rosehill here, bringing this video on Daniel's Tech World, which is my geeky corner of YouTube where I post my technology related videos. And I thought today I would do, as we're just winding up in 2023, I wanted to do a video about video backup because I put video backup into YouTube and I came across some what I would consider to be really bad advice, including one person recommending using Google Takeouts to back up your YouTube video. And let's just kind of talk about that right here at the outset. Don't do that because Google Takeout is a utility for exporting your data from Google, whether you're using what used to be called Google Workspaces or what still is Google Workspaces, used to be G Suite, and I think Google Apps even before that, but Google Workspace I believe is the latest term. Whether you're using a Google Workspace with your own domain or whether you're using Gmail, Google Takeouts are sort of a useful tool. They don't do incremental backup, so they're really actually snapshots of your Google activity. The problem with, you can select YouTube as a service when you're doing a Google Takeout and just extract your YouTube, and then within YouTube you can select videos, playlists, etc. The problem is that you're going to be getting stuff off YouTube servers after they've compressed your video. So when you upload stuff to YouTube, YouTube compresses it, which is why if you download stuff from your YouTube studio, you'll see the files are smaller and the quality is a bit lower as well. So if you're backing up, you're trying to take care and preserve the longevity of your video content, you want to be backing up always the originals and not stuff that's gone through YouTube compression. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my approach because it is somewhat unique, I would say. I back up my videos using optical media. For those who have forgot what optical media is, it's these things. These might look like CDs, but they're actually MDiscs. And MDisc is a really cool technology that basically intends to create a form of optical media that is impervious to bit rot. So the problem with cold storage means storing your data on things that are not connected to electricity. An example of cold storage might be if you were to attach a hard drive enclosure periodically and dump your videos onto that. That has a tendency to suffer from bit rot. Bit rot means that the data is corrupted and ultimately eventually unreadable. In the case of hard drives, it occurs due to lack of magnetism over time, with bits getting flipped. And every form of storage media has its unique way of being suspect to bit rot. I've heard that LTO tape is better, but the issue with LTO is that it costs a lot to get started because the drives are very expensive. So I hit on optical storage because it actually suits my data output perfectly. I hear a lot of complaints from people about MDisc for two reasons. Firstly, they say, well, it's too expensive, and secondly, the storage is too small. MDiscs are available in 25, 50, and 100 gigabyte discs. And I only go through like one MDisc a month. I produce about 25 gigs of video per month for my various YouTube channels. So it actually works fine for me. The cost is about like $2 a disc. I don't consider $5 a month an expensive investment in protecting data, especially if video production is your livelihood, as it is part of my livelihood. So I think it's well worth the money personally. In addition to MDisc, there are Blu-rays that are marketed as being Blu-ray archival, and they tend to say, okay, it's about 100 years. MDiscs is supposed to be 1,000. The difference between these and regular Blu-rays is that MDiscs use an inorganic data layer, and the data is engraved into it rather than ink being, not ink, but the data being pitted and becoming readable via optical transfer. I did an interview with the MDisc founder, and I think it's a very sincere, creative technology personally. So I'm very happy to commit my data onto MDisc for backup. So I do this, and we'll do a little bit of a show and tell here. I'll show you guys where these discs go. This is my on-site home backup, and this is actually, believe it or not, about 3 years worth of video. Says archive 1 because eventually I'm going to have multiple of these boxes. But look, I'm only halfway through my first stack of storage thing, and that is a solid 3 years of literally every video I've produced on every YouTube channel I run. So you know, I don't think it's overly burdensome from a space standpoint, like physically. So I basically write a disc. I'll just take out one of these here. Okay, this is one of the labeled MDiscs. The non-labeled ones, the inkjet printer ones, these ones are a bit cheaper. If you're looking to save a little bit of money on MDiscs, these ones are cheaper. So but this is one of the verbatim ones, and you can see I've just labeled it YouTube 08222. So this was 2022, disc number 2. I usually only produce 1 disc per month, but sometimes it's 2. I buy the jewel cases from Amazon. I buy the boxes from Amazon, and when I'm posting them, and we'll talk about why I post them later, I put them in these little whatever you'd call these, I guess, disc envelopes, and then I put that in a padded envelope. I write on the discs using a marker that is specially made for writing optical media. It says safe for any CD, DVD surface, permanent marker. I've heard a lot of skepticism about these, and most people seem to think any old marker will do the job. So after I write the discs, I label them, and then I put them on site. And then the ones that are destined for off-site, I will put in this little CD case here. And once a year or so, I travel to the US where I have my in-laws, and I bring my last year's worth of discs and I put them in a little off-site library that I maintain in Connecticut. So that is why. Now, why do we do this approach? So in backup, the golden rule is the 3-2-1 rule. 3-2-1 rule means you need 3 copies of your data, 2 different storage locations, and one of those should be offsite. Offsite means somewhere geographically separated from where your main data is. Now, when we're creating videos and distributing them on platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, what have you, I would encourage people not to regard that as a copy, right? Because cloud services are third-party platforms. They're wonderful. I love YouTube, fantastic deal it offers creators for basically allowing you to distribute as much video content as you want, but you don't have control over it. So I recommend doing what I do and creating 2 of your own copies that you can own and manage physically. So again, every month I write 2 MDiscs. One of them goes into my on-site storage library, and one of them goes into this at the moment, but I could also post them. I posted a couple of discs just as experiments. And by the way, geographically separated. So I have one archive in Israel and one in the US, but you don't need to be that elaborate. You can, if you had a friend who was willing to store your backup tapes in reciprocation for maybe you storing theirs, that would work as well. The reason this on-site stuff is done is that if your house catches fire, God forbid, or is flooded, that you wouldn't lose the only copy of your data. So that's why we want 2. And again, it's open to interpretation how geographically removed you want to be. I think storing it with another friend in the city would be perfectly fine, unless your city is somehow freakishly susceptible to tragic events like flooding. But, that's not the case for the vast majority of places in the world. And you just basically want to have 2 copies, not 1. That's the main message here. So that's my personal methodology. It's worked. I have read my first MDiscs that are about 3 years old now, and they read just fine. You do need an MDisc reader. Basically, it's a Blu-ray reader writer that is also compatible with MDiscs. But if you're just using the archival grade Blu-rays, you can use those. They come in 25, 50, and 100 gigabyte discs. And the MDiscs are a little bit slower to write and to read from than regular Blu-rays, because it's a different process of engraving into an inorganic data layer, so that they're kind of slow. But the upside is that they're the most durable form of cold storage media that I have encountered to date. I haven't seen anyone else claiming that their storage media can last in cold storage without bit rot for literally hundreds of years. And personally, I don't believe them. There is a bit of skepticism, people saying, oh, they don't trust the claim. And I say that's okay. I'm perfectly content to put my faith in it. And that's what I use for backing up all my video projects. Thanks for watching this. If you're into video content creation and want to make sure your stuff is well backed up, I hope this was of interest. And if you want to tell me about your backup methodology, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear it, what other people are doing. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.